Good evening. Warm welcome to all of you on a Sunday evening to the Gita Wisdom session. We are on chapter 11, the universal form, one of the most important chapters of Gita. We have completed part 1 last time, and we are going to do part 2 this time, verses 32 to verses 55. This is also known as Vishwa Rupa Darshan. Let's start with the prayers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. With prayers to my Guru Maharaj, let me start the session today. The acronym for this chapter is Rupa. So what is Rupa? We will see in the next slide. And just to refresh our memories of what we studied last time, and people who have got statistics in mind, this chapter is the third biggest chapter in Gita. It has 55 verses. Chapter 2 is the second biggest, and chapter 18 is the biggest. And connect back, Krishna in 9th chapter, 9.5 verse, had said, Nacha matstani bhutani, pashyame yogam aishwaram, bhuta brinna chamat bhutasto, mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. And at that time, we had felt, oh, well, what is Krishna saying? It says, and everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Pashyame yogam aishwaram. We are going to see this demonstration in this chapter. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is a very source of creation. So when he had said this, we all used to wonder, what does he mean? How can he not be part of the creation? So here we have now moved from discussion, description to demonstration and revelation. So Krishna says, you want to see my divine form? I will show it to you. That's why this chapter is so important. Krishna, or we have all read about Dashavataras. He has come into this for 10 times in different avatars. In none of the avatars, Krishna or Rama or Kurma showed us the Vishwarupa Darshana. Only when Krishna came here, he showed us the Vishwarupa Darshana. That is the importance. And we should try to visualize and understand how unique and how impactful this chapter is. Arjuna and Krishna are sitting in front of each other or in the chariot, and the chariot is in midst of the armies. And Arjuna says, I want to see your Vishwarupa Darshana. And Krishna shows him there and then. He doesn't need any preparation. It is just like he desires and he's able to manifest. That is the power of Krishna. That's why I said this chapter is so important. Quick recap of what we have studied so far. This chapter has an acronym, Rupa. What does it stand for? R is request from Arjuna. So we studied last class that first 4 verses, Arjuna says, I want to see your divine form. And Krishna says, Arjuna says, my illusion is dispelled. And please show me your divine form. When Krishna says, you can't see my divine form just like that. I'll give you my a pair of divine eyes. Only with divine chakshu can you see my divine form. Rupa, Q is universal form. So that's the lesson 2, where Krishna describes his universal form. P, prayers of Arjuna. We went through various descriptions. Sanjaya described the universal form, Arjuna described the universal form, and then there is a vision of the universe, and the Vishwarupa Darshan turns to Kala Rupa, where there is an effect on the universe, effect on Arjuna, and you can see the future happening in front of you. What Arjuna was afraid to do, fight with his own relatives, Krishna said, you see, they are already killed. What more is left for you to discuss and decide? Now we are coming to, then Arjuna, last question, he says, can you tell me, this is such an inconceivable form. Please tell me, who are you? Are you the 200 form Krishna? Or you are this Bhayanic Kal Rupa? Or you are the universal form Vishwarupa? And Krishna says, okay, let me answer all your questions. And this is the last part, A, arm form. So Krishna tells, in fact, the first 3 verses is Krishna's instruction to Arjuna. Very, very interesting. And through Arjuna, Krishna is giving a message to the whole mankind. If you were to follow what Krishna has said, life is wonderful, life is simple. And then we go through Arjuna's prayers. Then we go through the last section, which is pure devotion alone grants all vision. So in this chapter, we get to really know the pathway to achieve Krishna. And Krishna is so specific, so clear, so lucid. He says, don't have any confusion. This is the path by which you can come to me. In this overview, we start with Krishna's instructions to uh, Sri Bhagavan Vacha कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षया कृत् प्रवृत्तो लोकान् संहर्तुम् इह प्रवृत्तः तते अपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ये अवस्थिता प्रति अनिकेषु योधः. He says, I am time, the ultimate destroyer. Let's see what's the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time, I am. Kalosmi, the great destroyer of all the worlds. I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So Krishna is very clearly explaining to Arjuna that if you are a believer, if you are a devotee, you can see my two-handed form. I am loving, infinitely peaceful. But if you are an atheist and you want to challenge me, oh, well, I don't believe in all these things. This is Big Bang Theory has brought this world into being. If that is what is your argument, fair enough. Now, I stand in front of you as time. Can anyone in this living memory, history, has been able to overcome time, challenge time? Impossible. So this is a message for an atheist. You have an limitation. You can't go beyond time. That's what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna here. Kalosmi lokakshaya krut pravruddho. Kala is derived from kalayati, which is synonym of ganayati, meaning to take countdown. So time is the calculator which calculates the kala. So Krishna says, I am time. Is time pleasant? No way. We all know it is terrible and intricate. In fact, Krishna says, Arjuna said, I don't want to see your Kala Rupa. Because in Kala Rupa, Krishna is seen as the destroyer, conqueror, terrible. The whole army was being killed by him and he was eating them alive. So this is a terrible form of Kala. Pravruddha. I have come here. I have grown in stature. For what? Loka samharatam iha pravruddha. Iha is now. Pravruddha is I am engaged. Engaged in what? Samharatam, in destroying, in annihilating all the warriors who are assembled on this battlefield. Te api tvam na bhavishyanti sarve. With the exception of you, O Arjuna, survey, all the warriors, which includes Bhishma, Drona, Karna, will be slain. Ye avastita prati anikeshu yodaha. Avastita means they are present here. They are in the formation of two armies. They are trying to fight each other. What is their future? Na bhavishyanti sarve. They will cease to exist. They will be slain. This is his first instruction to Krishna, Arjuna. Then he says, Tasmatvam uttista yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungswarajyam samruddham mayaivaiti nihata purvam eva nimitta matram bhavasavysachi. One of the most important verses of Gita. Whole learning to mankind is here. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you just be an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavysachi. You don't have to do anything. Translation. Therefore, get prepared to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. And you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Can the supremacy of the Lord not be understood even after reading this verse? So conclusive. He says, Tasmat, therefore, Swam, you, Uttista, get up, fight beautifully. You are a Kshatriya. Yasholabhasva. What will happen? You're not fighting just for nothing. You are fighting to attain fame and victory. Krishna is, after all, a charioteer. But if Arjuna wins the war, it is Arjuna who gets the credit, not Krishna. So he's saying, Yasholabhasva, you gain by fighting. Jitva Shatrun Bhungsva Rajyam Samruddham. Jitva Shatru means you are conquering and defeating your enemies. Bhungsva, enjoy. Rajya Samruddham, The whole kingdom is yours. It's a prosperous kingdom, and you will be king, you will be the king. Maya vaite nihata purvam eva. Nihatam purvam means I have already killed, slain each one of the soldiers who is on the battlefield. And Krishna is not saying this, Krishna has already shown this. And he says, Nimitta matram bhavasamvyasachi. You become an instrument to get this task executed. He calls Arjuna by a new name here. He says, Savyasachi. Who is a Savyasachi? Arjuna was such an expert archer that he could shoot arrows from both the hands, left and right. Such a person is known as Savyasachi. Now, there is a nice story which is described by the Acharya. They say that when Abhimanyu, son of Arjuna, enters the Chakravyuha, he gets killed. And Yudhishthira Dharmraya was heartbroken. He said, "Oh, I, as the eldest Pandava, did not prevent him from getting into the Chakravyuha." That time, Vyasdeva consoles Yudhishthira Maharaj and says, "Oh, Maharaj, please understand that Abhimanyu has died while doing the service that Krishna wanted him to. That is the purpose of all of us, whether we are living or we are dying. There is only one objective, and that is to serve Krishna. So don't grieve." So it is the learning of be an instrument to execute the plan. The plan is already there. All are going to die. You are just going to shoot the arrows and execute the plan. Next verse. And now Krishna is getting even more graphic. He says, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tatanyaan api yoda viran Maya hatam swam jahima vitistha yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. What is the meaning of this? He says, I have already killed them. What is there for you to do? Just fight, just participate. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in the battle. Now, why is Krishna mentioning each of these warriors by name? Because Arjuna, in the beginning, we saw in chapter 2, was so very confused. And he said, I don't want to fight because Drona is my teacher. Yes, Drona was a teacher and he's the greatest warrior on earth. And Krishna is saying, I have killed him. Bhishma. Bhishma had fought even with Parshuram, not Parshuram. Such a warrior. He had a will, he had a boon. He says, I can die when I want. And Krishna is saying, even Bhishma is going to be slain by me. Jayadratha. Jayadratha was such a warrior that his father had given him a boon. Anyone who tried to kill Jayadratha, and by killing, if the head was slain and it fell onto the ground, person who killed him, his head also will be blown to pieces. So he was almost assuming that Jayadratha is invincible because anyone who wants to kill him knows I will also die. Now he's taking the names of these three warriors along with Karna. Why Karna? Karna was the son of Surya. And his name Karna, if you utter, there was a fear in the battlefield. So all these warriors are going to be killed by me. He says, Maya Hatams. They are already dead. Jahima. Their next Janma is ready. Their next life is ready. So what are they preparing? Yatistha. Do not be upset. Do not be depressed. This is the fact of life. Just fight. Yudhyaswa. Get into the battle, fight and do your best. Because you are a Kshatriya. Jetasi Rane Sapatna. Jetasi means certainly you will defeat. Sapatnan is your enemies. You will conquer the enemies in the battle. Srila Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport. He says, every plan is made by the Lord. He is kind and merciful. He just wants to give the credit to his devotees. So he calls Arjuna Savyasachi. He motivates him and he says, if you fight, you are going to win glory and you are going to win the kingdom. Just be a part of my plan. We don't have Krishna in front of us, but we have Bhagwadgita in front of us. So we read these verses, understand the essence of it, and say that, well, every plan in my life that's happening is also the will of the Lord. Now we move to the next part, Arjuna's prayers. Sanjaya Uvacha Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Sutanjalir Kiriti Namaskrutva Bhuya Eva Krishna Sagadgadam Pita Pita Pranamya. Now, the next verses, Arjuna starts praying. He has understood the instructions of Krishna, and now he is paying obeisance to the Lord. And he starts the obeisances with glorification. The next four verses are all glorifying the Lord. This is how we should build our relationship with the Lord. It's a learning for all of us. The translation. Sanjaya said, Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Lord, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. Kutanjali. He fearfully spoke to the Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Veta Chutva Vachanam Keshavasya. After hearing the words from Krishna, what did Arjuna do? He folded his hands. Kutanjali. Repamanaha. He was trembling. This is another new name of Arjuna, Kiriti. Namaskrutva Puya Eva Krishna. Namaskritva is a poetic license in the shloka. It should have been Namaskritya. But what does it mean? It says, I am offering you my namaskaras. I am surrendering unto you. Puya Eva Krishna, again and again. Sagadgadam, faltering, choked voice. He's overcome with emotions. Pita Pita Pranamya. Arjuna was frightened, choked voice, trembling. He bowed down. Now, when Sanjaya was describing this to Dhritarashtra, what was Sanjaya going through? He was thinking, if the best of the warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, are going to be killed and it is being declared by Krishna, please now Dhritarashtra will say that let's sign a peace treaty with Pandavas and call this ghastly war off it. But it is said that is the plan of the Lord. Dhritarashtra did not even pay any attention to that and he ignored the message coming from Sanjaya because the Lord had built, he had to get this war and he had to destroy Adharma. Let's go to the next verse. Another beautiful verse where Arjuna is glorifying. So when we pray to the Lord, we should also glorify the Lord. Arjuna Uvacha Sthane Ushikesha Tava Prakirtya Jagat Praharshyati Anurajyate Cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namashyanti Cha Siddha Sangaha. What's the meaning of this? Krishna's pleasing and ferocious forms are objects of attraction and repulsion. It's such a meaningful glorification of the Lord. And he's calling him Rishikesha. Let's see why. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they fear and there. All this is rightly done. So Rakshamsi are the demons. And the people who pray to the Lord are Jagat Prarashati Anurajatita. So he's Rishikesha. Why is he calling Rishikesha? Because Rishikesha is one who inspires the senses. So if you are going to follow the path of bhakti, he will take him to you. It's saying, Stane Rishikesha Tava Prakritya. What is Prakritya? Prakritya means glorification. If you sing the glories of the Lord, then you become attracted to him. Anurajyate. So by glorifying the Lord, we all get attracted to him. And this is a reasonable, suitable expectation. That is why he says, Stane Rishikesha. This is what you are blessing us with. The whole world, which comprises of Gandharvas, Siddhas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, etc., they all gathered in various universes with a desire to see this Kurukshetra war. And when you showed this Vishwa Rupa Darshan, they are delighted with you because they have never seen this form ever before. And they are singing your glory. Same time, this world is made of duality. You have good with the bad. There are people who are Rakshasas, Asuras, Danavas, Pishachas. They are all Rakshamsi. They are fearful. They are seeing at your Kalarupa and they know that our death is now round the corner. So they are running away, Dishodravanti, in different directions. There are other people, Sarve Namashanti cha Siddha Sangaha. These are people who are blessed, who are knowledgeable. They are offering their respects to you. Siddha Sangaha. They're willing to accept. They're willing to go by your writ, which is this war has to happen and the adharma has to get defeated. Next verse. Kasmatstadena namiran mahatman garyase brahmano api adhikartre ananta devesha jagannivasa tvam aksharam sat asat tat param yat. Krishna is worshipable by everyone. All of us know this, and Arjuna is glorifying this in this verse. He says, O great one, Atman, greater even than Brahma, Garyase Brahmano, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe? You are the invincible source, cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Just look at these words. Each one has a deep meaning. Ananta Devecha Jagan Nivasa Tvam Aksharam Sat Asat Tat Paramya. Let's go through word by word. So now Krishna, Arjuna says, Atma. Why? Because he is the supreme. And he says, Namiran, I am offering my obeisances to you. Kasmat Jatena. It means, why will Lord, the people not pray to you? Why will they not become your devotees? Why they will not worship you? Because you are Mahatma. And I am also offering my obeisance. Garyase Brahmano Pi Dikarte. He says, Garyase means you are the greatest. Dikarte, you are the creator of even Brahmaji. Most of us would have heard this story. How did Brahma get, or let's say, how was Brahma born? Brahma was born out of the lotus stem, which grew from the navel of Krishna, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. That's why he says, Daryase Brahmano Pi Adhikartre. You are the supreme creator. You have even created Lord Brahma. So the primary creation happens from Krishna, and Brahma looks after the secondary creation. So you are the supreme creator, Adhikartre, Ananta, unlimited, Devesha, Atma, O great one. Daryase Brahmano. You are the creator of even Brahma. Ananta, unlimited. Devesha, Jagannivasa, you're the controller of all the gods. That's why he calls him Devesha. Jagannivasa, you're the abode of the holy universe. Sharam, imperishable. Sat Asatat Param, you are the beyond the cause and effect. You are transcendental. In this world, we have rich, poor. Yes, no, white, black. This is how we are tuned. This is how our life functions. Krishna is beyond that. For him, there is no birth, there is no death. That is why he is Ananta Devesha Jagannivasa. Next verse. Tvam Adideva Purusha Purana, Tvam Asya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, Vetasi Vetyam Cha Param Chadama, Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. Says you are the ultimate shelter of everything. You're not only the creator, maintainer, and destroyer. Even when this world is destroyed, it takes shelter under you. Nidhanam. You are the shelter of this universe when destruction happens. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, supreme, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. Very, very powerful learning. We should understand this. Vetasi Vedyam. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is known. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. Oh, limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So we are still in the glorification stage of Arjuna's prayer. He says, Adi Deva. We just heard in the last verse. Kariyase Brahmano. He was the creator of Brahma. So he is Adi Deva. He is without beginning. Purusha Purana. Primeval person, the original person. He is the source. Everything else in this world is resource. Everything emanates from Krishna. Param Nidhanam, source of creation and place of distribution. Vedasi, knower of everything. He knows everything. He is knowledge himself. He is knowledge personified. Vedyam, goal of everything knowable. Whatever Vedas you study, whatever scriptures you study, what is the goal of that? It is to know about Krishna. Param Chadhama, his transcendental form. He is beyond material cause and effect. He is beyond birth and death. He comes, places avatara, and goes back. He is avatari. He is not impacted by space. He is not impacted by time because he is space. He is time. Vishwam Anantarupam. O you of infinite forms, universe is pervaded by you, and he has just shown this to Arjuna. Next verse. Now the prayers moves to obeisances. It started with glorification. Now we are going to obeisances. How we should approach the Supreme Lord. Vayur Agnir Varuna Sasankaha Prajapatiswam Pitamahascha Namo Namaste Stu Sahasra Krutvaha Punascha Bhuyo Api Namo Namaste. My repeated respects unto you thousands of times as you are everything. Now he's offering obeisances. Translation. You are air. You are supreme controller. You are fire. You are water. And you are the moon, Shashanka. You are Brahma, the first living creature. And you are the great grandfather. And therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. 1,000 times. Sahasra Putvaha. And again and yet again. Punaschabuyu. Now Arjuna is exalted. He is really praising the Lord. And he is saying all these demigods who play such an important role, the Panchbhutas, they're all coming from you. And we have studied this in 10th chapter. These are all vibhutis of Krishna. Say, you are Vayu, you are air. Without air, we can't live. Any living being needs air. And Krishna is air. Yama, death. Everyone has to go back to Yamaloka as soon as we finish our role in this world. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. So whatever manifestation of power that exists, that we see in this world, they are all part of Krishna. Prajapatis Tvam Pitamahascha. Who are Prajapatis? Prajapatis are created by Brahma. They are children of Brahma. There are 14 Prajapatis, and this entire human race has come from Prajapatis. They are appointed by Brahma to create this universe, the entire cosmic manifestation of living beings. Om Prapitamahascha. He says, Brahma is the father. Yes, he is the Pitamaha. Now, who is Krishna? Krishna is the father of Brahma because Krishna created Brahma. So he says, you are great grandfather. Prapitamahascha. Namo Namaste. He says, now when you see this, Nama is obeisances. Namaste. So he says, he's trying to repeat the words. Why? That shows the intensity of devotion that Arjuna is feeling towards the Lord. Krutvaha, stu sahasra krutvaha. I am offering my respectful obeisance unto you. Sahasra krutvaha means thousands and thousands of times. Words are insufficient to portray the emotions of Arjuna. He is so overwhelmed. He just wants to pour his heart out. He says thousands and thousands of times. In the next line, he says, Punascha bhuyo, pi namo namaste. Again, he's repeating namo namaste. He says, I offer you my obeisances thousands of times, again and again. So that is the emotion that Arjuna is going through. So we have seen Arjuna pass through three emotions clearly. First is wonder. Second is, he was fearful. He says, oh, I'm not really happy to see your Kala. Third, he is surrendered. Sharanagati. That is, if you surrender yourself unto the Lord, that is the stage of devotion. Next verse. Nama purustat ata prastataste namostu te sarvata eva sarva ananta viryamita vikramastvam sarvam samapnosi tatosi sarvaha. So after offering obeisances thousands of times, now he says, I want to offer you obeisances from all the sides. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. Sarvata in sarva. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Now he is in ecstasy. He is really saying, oh Lord, see, this is what happens. When we love someone, we get into ecstasy when we start praising them. This is the reaction. Ask a mother about her child. She will give you a graphic, loving description of her child. Every activity, she has a comparison to make. It's the same state that Arjuna is going through. Now he says, Namha is salutation. Purastar, I want to offer salutation in front of you. Ha, Prastataste, I want to offer you obeisances from the back. Namostu, te sarvata eva sarva. I want to offer you obeisances from all the sides. Why? That is again glorification. He says, Ananta Viryamita Vikramaswam. Virya is strength. Vikrama is heroic or infinite heroism. So you are unlimited personality. Sarvam Samapnosi. You pervade the entire universe. Now, how do we understand this? He has shown the universal form. He has shown the Vishwa Rupa Darshan. And now we are trying to read Gita and understand what is Arjuna trying to say that, oh, Krishna, you are Nanta Viryamita Vikramaswami, and you pervade this entire world. It's like Acharyas give a very nice example. They say, you look at any gold ornament, it could be a chain, it could be a ring, it could be a necklace, whatever it is, gold pervades all ornaments. So this is the way we have to understand what Arjuna is trying to say. The Lord pervades everything. There is nothing in this world which is existing without Krishna. So he says, Tato, I'm offering you my obeisances because Sarvam Samapnosi. No entity exists in this world without you. You are supreme. Next. Saketi Matva Prasabham Yaduktam. He Krishna, He Yadava, He Saketi. Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramada Pranayena Vapi. Yachava Hasartam Asatrutosi. Vihara Sayyasana Bhojaneshu. Ekotavapi Achyuta Tat Samaksham Tat Kshamaye Tvam Aham Aprameyam. Now he's moving into offering apologies. So he started with glorification. He offered obeisances. Now he's offering apologies because he says, very nice verse. Please forgive offenses, whatever I did in madness or love, Mada or Pranayena. Let's go to the translation. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love, either Pramada or Pranayena. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed. Vihar, lay on the same bed, Sayasana, Ojaneshu, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Oh, infallible one, Achyuta, please excuse me for all these offenses. It is not that Arjuna has done any grave offense, but he is now trying to think, oh, have I really given the due respect to the Supreme Lord, or have I treated him as my friend, like I would have called anyone? So he's going through that phase, and he says, I apologize for this mistake. Saketi, wow, I thought of you as my friend. And when I have this feeling, I have treated you as an ordinary human being. Prasabham is, I have perhaps not given you due respect. I may have been impolite. Yadu, I have addressed you many a times, innocently, ignorantly, as Hey Krishna, that is, O Yadava, Hey Yadava, O Saka, that is, Hey Saketi, O comrade. And maybe I should have given due weightage to your opulence. Janata, I was overcome, or I was in the flow of things, and I did not really remember your Mahimana Pavedam. I did not keep in mind your glory, and I could attribute the reasons of either negligence or out of extreme affection. Maya pramadat nayena vapi. The reason for this behavior could be this, mada, or out of extreme love to you. Yet chava hasar, chava hasar, um, chava hasardam means out of joking, out of making fun, playing pranks. We are friends. We are friends and we have behaved as friends. Satkrutosi. Maybe now, after seeing your Vishwa Rupa Darshana, I feel I have acted improperly. I may have played pranks with you. Eko, that is when we were alone, when we were playing together, when we were lying down together, we were sitting together on a seat, or we were having food together, bhojaneshu, all those times, either in front of everyone, eka is one on one, not samaksham, in front of you. So either I have insulted you in privacy or in the presence of all others. I am really requesting you for pardon, Lakshama, hey, Tvam Maham Aprayam, because you are Achyuta, you are infallible. I am, as a human being, prone to make mistakes. You are Achyuta, you are Aprameyam. Please pardon me. And I'm sure you will do that because you are the Supreme Lord. You are never going to hold such small things against me. Next verse. Pitashi lokasya characharasya त्वमत्ति पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गर्यान् न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यादिकः कुतो अन्यो लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिम प्रभावा. Now he is describing the incomparable power of Krishna while offering his apologies. He says, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation. Itasi locus of the moving and non-moving. Karacharasya. You are its worshipable chief, supreme master, Guru Garyan. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then would there be another greater than you within the three worlds? Lokatraye, O Lord of immeasurable power. When we say our prayers to Krishna, when we go through Gita, when we read this verse, we should have the same emotion to Krishna. We should remember that who we are addressing. Pitasi lokasya characharasya. He is the supreme father of all the worlds. Kara Karasya. Anything which moves, anything which is living, anything which has Chetana, anything which is Achara, anything which is non-living, anything which is non-moving, anything which is Chetana, everything living, non-living, he is the father of that. Ommasya Ujyasya Gurur Garyan. You are most worshipable Lord. Garyan means glorious. You are the supreme spiritual master. Knowledge emanates from you. You are Guru Garyan means Guru Tamaha, Adi Guru. Natvat Samo Asti. There is no one equal to you. Yadikaha Kutu Anyo. No one is greater than you. Lokatre Api. No comparisons in the three worlds that we are aware of. Tima Prabhava. Your influence is Pratima, no parallel. You are immeasurably powerful. He continues. Now, whenever we see Tasmat, then we should understand that there is a conclusion now. So Arjuna says, Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadye tvam aham ishamityam piteva putrasya sakeva sakyuhu priya priya rahasi devashodum. Please tolerate me. Now he's giving three wonderful examples to Krishna to how you should forgive him. And there is a great lesson for us as we are reading Gita. He says, you are the Supreme Lord. We worship by every living being. Yes, this is a fact. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. We all should do this when we talk to Krishna, when we read Gita. And it says, I'm giving you three examples. You can choose any of them or all of them, but pardon me. What are the three examples? Or let's go through the verse and then I will describe that. Okay. So, Tasmat Pranamya. Therefore, I offer you obeisances. Pranidhaya Kayam. What is Pranidhaya? Kayam means body, Sharir. Pranidhaya means falling down. When you do Dandavat Nam, Sastang Namaskar, you are horizontal on the ground, laying on the ground, praying to the Lord. Whenever we go to the temple, that is how we should pray to the Lord. That is when our ego is sacrificed at the altar of the Lord's lotus feet. Prasadaye tvam aham isham ityam. What is that? Isham ityam. Ityam is worshipable, adorable. Isham is Ishvara. Another name of Ishvara is Isham. So we must worship you again and again. How? Three examples. Piteva putrasya. That is, as a father tolerates the impudence of his son. So we are all parents. As parents, we are duty bound to forgive them. Why? Because they are child, immature. They do not have the knowledge. So Arjuna is saying, treat me as your son. Or if you want to treat me as a friend, even amongst friends, we should ignore, override the small insults. Sometimes people get jealous, people get angry, people insult you. Fine. Friendship is far beyond these small emotions. So Arjuna is telling, either as a parent or as a friend, you forgive me. Priya Priharasi. Now, in marriage, husband, wife, there are things which will not go all the way, all the time into our satisfaction. There could be minor things which irritate both of us. It says, but just as the wife or the husband tolerates and pardons the other, please pardon me as a beloved. So Arjuna is giving three examples to Krishna and says, choose one of them, but please pardon me. Now, from glorification, obeisances to request, now he's coming to request. Apologies and request. Glorification, obeisances, apologies, and now this request. He says, Atrushta purvam hushito asmi društva bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me taddeva me dakshaya deva rupam sida devesha jagannivasa. He repeated this earlier too. I am both gladdened and frightened seeing your universal form. Rushito means happy, Bhayana means fearful. So two emotions are being expressed in this verse. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened. At the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me. Reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. O Lord of Lords, Devesha Jagannivasa, O abode of the universe. So, what are the two folds emotions? One is Arjuna is lucky. I mean, Krishna himself has said, I have never shown this to anyone, but I have shown it to you. So Arjuna says, I am very happy. Ishto Asmi Drishta, because I have seen the Vishwa Rupa Darshan. And the whole world remembers, congratulates Arjuna, saying that, wow, you are the most chosen one. That Lord has agreed to show you the Vishwa Rupa Darshan. So I am very happy. But same time, it says, Bhaina cha pravyatitam mano me. I am really afraid of seeing your Bhayanak Kalarupa. In fact, I want to pray to you. All these prayers are, please take this form away from me. I'm not able to withstand this uh, rupa. I'm getting free. Now, Acharyas explain this with a wonderful example. They say, yes, you get through both these emotions happening to you at the same time. That is what is happening to Arjuna. What was that? See, in a temple, many a times, we have seen the Lord is taken for a yatra, a Rath Yatra, on an elephant. So the Lord sits in the Ambari and he's put on the elephant, the Mahut, and the Pujari takes him around the streets, show the Lord to the, or let's say, to allow the darshan of the Lord to all of us in that town. This is a common sight. You go to any South Indian temple, elephant is a part of the procession. Now, yes, it's a majestic sight. You can see the Lord Virajman on top of the elephant. And then there is somewhere a feeling in most of us, or at least few of us, saying that how it would be if I would be on top of the elephant. Ah, I will be on top of the world. And Arjuna was thinking the same. I'm on top of the world because I have seen Vishwa Rupa Darshan. Now, let's say by magic wand, that grants that wish to one of us or all of us, and we are able to sit on top of the elephant. Now, imagine what happens if you go on top of the elephant. Grass is always green on the other side. Sitting on the top of an elephant it's not a joke. The hair of the elephant is like a needle. If you try to climb on top, you will be ready for pinpricks. The backbone of the elephant or the forehead of the elephant is so hard that no amount of cushion is going to keep you comfortable for more than a few minutes. So the emotion of elation for having gone on top of the elephant moves to Dana, like what Arjuna is going. You will say, oh my God, all the people below me are appreciating me, but ask me within few minutes, I want to get down. This is what Arjuna was going through. Ab eva me shaya deva rupam. He says, please show me your original form, smiling, beautiful. See the devesha jagannivasha. Please bestow your grace, have your mercy, show me your old form. And that is what I want to be. It's like the person on the elephant says, oh Lord, please bless me, take me down from the elephant. I can no longer get used to the pinprick and the hardness of the elephant's back. Now he says, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichami Tvam Drashtum Maham Tataivaha Tenaiva Rupena Chaturpushena Sahasra Bhavo Bhavavishwamurte. I wish to see your four-armed form, O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, Sahasrabahu. I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmeted head, with club, bead, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So Arjuna is not only saying that I want to see you in your original form, he's also describing the form to us. Even in 11.17, he had said the same thing, describing the Lord, saying, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrastam. He says, I want to see you in that form, Lord, where you have your crown wearing on your head. I want to see you with your mace in the hand. I want to see you with the Sudarshan Chakra in your hands. That is the form I would like to see. Sahasra Bhavu, I know you have 1,000 arms in this universal form, but I want to see that form which you had shown me before. You were Chaturbhujena, you had the forehand form. I want to see you back in that form. Now, the Vaihaya Samhita states, Lord concealed his Vishwarupa Darshana and he came back to his human form. Now, the original form of the Lord as a two-hand form is the most superior. Very few people can see this form in their lifetimes, and he tells us this in the next verse also. In fact, all the rupas, the avataras that we see, the Dashawataras, have come from Krishna's two-hand form. In fact, in the Vishnu Sahasranama, last verse says, Vanamali Gadi Sharangi Shanki Chakricha Nandaki Sriman Narayana Vishnu Vasudevo Virakshatu. Sriman Narayana Vishnu, who wears garland of flowers, holds the mace in his hand, Sharangi, that is conch, discus Sudarshan Chakra, and sword Nandaki. May that all pervasive Vasudeva protect us. So that is the form of the Lord That Arjuna wants to see. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Now Arjuna's prayers are over. Lord is responding to him. Maya prasannena tavarjunetam rupam param darshitam atma yoga tejo mayam vishwam anantam adyam yanme tvad anyena natrishna purvam. So Krishna says, it is not easy to see my universal form, but since you're asking me to go back to my original form, so be it. Let's read the translation. The Lord said, my dear Arjuna, happily I have shown you by my internal potency, Atma Yoga, the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. So the Lord says, I am pleased. Maya prasantena. I am pleased with your devotion. I am pleased with your sincerity. That's what the Lord looks at. He doesn't really worry too much about when did you do it, how much did you do it, what did you do it, why did you do it. No. All he says is, I want you to be sincere. If you are in devotion, you are in devotion. Surrender to me. You wanted to see the universal form? I gave you the divine eyes, and you saw the Vishwa Rupa. Now he says, I want to see Tava idam Rupam Param Drushtam. Okay, fine. I will show you my original two-handed form. But you must appreciate that this Vishwarupa, which you have seen and no one else has seen ever before, has been manifested by my Yoga Maya. Ah, and what was that form? It gives a one-line description. He says, Tejo Mayam. We all agree that it was the, the blazing effulgence was equal to 1,000 suns rising at the same time. Vishwam, let us say, it was pervading the whole universe, across universes. Anantam, unlimited, Adyam, vast. Yanmetvatanyena natvam. I have shown you that form which no one has seen before. He continues. Now, in this verse, you can see he has used na 4 times. So he says, you cannot achieve me by doing all these things. Don't work hard, work smart. And let's see what Krishna says. Na veda yajna dhyayanair na danair na chakriyabhir na tapope rugrahi evam rupa shakya aham nruloke drashtum tvad anyena kuru pravira. He says, the rarity of seeing Krishna's universal form. And let's see the translation. Oh, best of the Kuru warriors, Kuru Pravira. No one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, Naveda, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. So this is a clear message to all the jnanis. If you want to follow the path of Jnana Yoga, if you want to follow the path of Karma Yoga, choice is yours. But if you want to follow the path of Krishna, follow Bhakti Yoga. And the next few verses highlight this in no uncertain terms. Now he's saying, let us see all the nas. No. Na Veda Dhyana. Even by devout and diligent study of Vedas, you will not achieve me. Na Yajna Dhyana. You do rituals as per the Vedas. No, even then you will not achieve me. Both are inferior sadhana methods. Na danai, charity is not effective. In fact, Karna was known as Dana Shura Veera Karna. Did Karna understand Krishna? No. Karna was so, what you can say, under illusion, like you and me, that he decided to fight against Krishna. This illusion. By charity, you may acquire pious credits, but you cannot understand Krishna. Nacha Kriya B. You perform various austerities. No, Ekadashi Upvas, you do, let us say, what is that? Navagraha Shanti, you do Satyanarayan Puja, you do so many things. All that will not bring you to me. Then he says, Na tapo rugrahi, you may do severest of the severest penances, even then you will not come to me. Shakyaham, I cannot be seen. Evam Rupa, it is Vishwarupa. Drashtum, Am shakyaham taraloke in this human world. Tvat anyena kruparavida. You are the only one. You have got this darshan. It is because of my mercy and because of your devotion. All the other paths are not going to bring you to me. It is the turning from this. And he reinforces this message once again going forward. Mate vyatamacha vimuda bhavo drushvarupam ghoram vidram mamedam vyapeta vipreetam anapunasvam tad eva me rupam idam pasya. He continues, rarity of seeing my universal form. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Ghoram vidram mamedam. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So now the Lord is comforting Arjuna. He says, relax. You don't worry. You don't want to see my Vishwa Rupa Darshana? Don't worry. Mate Vyatha. Don't have any fear. I know Kala Rupa is not easy to digest. You can see the future happening in my mouth. I'm crushing all your opponents to death. And that's the Kala Rupa. Nacha Vimuda Bhava. Don't have any more bewilderment. Do not be immobilized. Do not be fearful. Now, this is again Acharya's given example. What is Vimuda Bhavo? Vimuda Bhavo is when you are overwhelmed, overcome by emotions. It's like we are standing in a place quietly, and suddenly we turn around and we see a wild elephant charging at us. What will happen in that split second? You are immobilized. You cannot move. Your reaction is just not going to take place because you don't know. Should I charge away from the path of the elephant? What do I do? Exactly the same Arjuna is facing. Vimuda Bhava. He doesn't know what Duttva Rupam Ghoramidam, because that was the frightening form of the universal form. Vipetapi, he says, do not have fear, relax. Come free from fear. Vita Manaha, have a pleasant, relaxed, stress-free mind. Unas again, I will show you Tatteva me rupam idam prapasya, old form that you are so desirous to see. Sanjay Uvacha, Iti Arjuna Vasudevastatoktva Swakam Rupam Darshayam Ashabhuyaha Ashwasayam Ashachapitam Enam Bhutva Punasaumya Vapur Mahatma. Now Krishna reveals the four-handed form and then the two-handed form. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Lord Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Now, you may be wondering, when this whole intense exchange is happening between Arjuna and Krishna, why did Sanjaya come into play? Now, we must understand that Krishna had in front of Arjuna grown in size to become Vishwa Rupa Darshana. So now from Aneka Rupa, he's coming down to Ek Rupa. So when this transition is happening, Sanjaya comes in. He says, Vasudeva Tatokva. That is when Krishna spoke. Thus, I will show you my two-hand form. Swakam Rupam Darshayam Ashapuyaha. What is Swakam Rupam? The original form which is filled with sweetness and now I will show you that form, and he's transforming himself into that. Ashavasyam Ashacha Bhitam Vinam. I don't want to be afraid anymore. Bhutva Punasaumya Vapur Mahatma. I am coming back to my original two-handed loving form. In fact, in Brahma Samhita, it is said, Premanjana Churita Vilocanena. Even if you were to see the Lord in his loving form, you can see that only if your eyes have the ointment of love. Just because Lord is showing, you can't see it. Arjuna had devotion. What is devotion? Love. If you are filled with love towards Krishna, then you can achieve all the darshans of the Lord that you wish to see. But the basic building block is bhakti and prema. Next verse. Arjuna uvacha drustvedam manusham rupam Tava saumyam janardana idanim shmi samvruttaha sacheta prakritim gataha. Now Arjuna says, I am seeing this form and I have regained my composure. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, Oh Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in my mind and I am restored to my original nature. So why is he calling him Janardana? Because Janardana is who gives goodness and happiness. He is called Janardana. Krishna is Janardana. What does he do when he gives you goodness and happiness? He takes away all your sinful reactions. This is the power of Janardana. So, Drishtvaidam Saumya Manusham Rupam. The moment I see you in your form, what happens to me? Sachetaha Samprutta. Sachetaha Samprutta means my consciousness has moved from the emotion of fear to normalcy. Kata Prakritim. I have become peaceful. I have become not. So Krishna has shown him that form, and what a transformation of emotion happening in Arjuna. From being fearful, he has become peaceful. Now we come to the last four verses where Krishna summarizes the learnings, summarizes the essence of Gita, summarizes the essence of Vishwa Rupa Darshana in these four verses. I have shown you this Vedic knowledge here, which shows you the intricacy that is involved. Now, if you want to study Veda to understand Krishna, you will go mad. You will require millions of lifetimes to go through each of the scripture and understand what is the summation of that. Instead of doing all that, just follow the message that Krishna has given in Gita. In 700 verses, the entire summation of knowledge is available to us for understanding. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. And what is the conclusion? Glories of Krishna's personal form. And the only way to achieve Krishna is bhakti. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Suturdasham idam rupam. Drushtavan asiyan mama. Deva piyasya rupasya. Dityam darshana kankshinaha. Rarity of seeing Krishna's human-like form. The Lord said, my dear Arjuna, hmm, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. So, question we should ask ourselves when we read this verse is, which form of Krishna is most special? Is it the Vishwarupa Darshana? Is it the Chaturbhujena? Or is it the two-handed form? That's what Krishna is now explaining. Says, Lord, idam rupam sudurdarshanam. Sudurdarsham. The Vishwarupa is impossible to see. For that, you need divine chakshu. That is understood. Now Krishna says, even something more guhyatam, most confidential knowledge. He says, the two-arm form of me that I'm going to show you now is even more difficult to see. And why I'm saying that, Krishna is explaining to us that Deva Apyasya Rupasya, this form is never seen even by the Devatas. He has just said, I am Vayu, Agnir, all the Vibhutis, all the Devatas, the 33 crore Devis and Devatas in the world are eager to see my form, and they have not been able to see it. Nityam Darshana Kankshana. And you know, the gods are so powerful. They have lifespans spanning thousands of years. Even then, I have not shown them this darshana. They are eager to see it. So we should understand what is the importance of the personal form of Krishna. It's not that we are interpreting. He himself is saying, Sudurdarsham idam rupam. Which rupam? He is now moved from Vishwarupa Darshana to his two-handed form. Second lesson. He says, नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन च चिज्यया शक्य एवं विदो द्रष्टुम दृष्टवानसि मम यथा. He's repeating, I told you, he's going to say this again in the coming verses. This form cannot be understood by Vedic study, penances, charity, etc. Many of us have this understanding. You know, we don't have the pure knowledge or the complete knowledge, and we get misled, and we have half knowledge. That's why it's a half knowledge is dangerous. So if you go through learning and you pick up the right knowledge, then you come to this path. In the it is very easy to achieve Krishna. You don't have to do all the things. He's not saying you go to the forest and do penance. No, he just says, form your seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by this means that one can see me as I am. I'm sure most of us will have the question, then what does Krishna want us to do? He will tell us that in the next verses. Naham Veda is any amount of study of Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda Veda is not going to reveal the truth to you. There is a lovely example that Acharya scored. Oh, the great Pandit, Keshav Kashmiri. He was from Kashmir. He was like encyclopedia of knowledge. You ask him from Rig Veda, you ask him from Atharvaveda Veda, he would give it to you in any form you want, not just the verse, even the interpretation. Such a great expert. Once met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an young boy. So, Keshav Kashmiri, see, when you're an expert, you tend to show off your knowledge. So he says, do you think we should be engaging in a debate on Vedas? Let's understand the knowledge, the immense repository of knowledge that lies in Vedas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, I am a student of Bhakti, Sankirtan. I just want to glorify the Lord. Keshav Kashmiri says, okay, why don't you at least get into the debate? Let's see whether Bhakti is more important or knowledge is more important. And to cut the long story short, Keshav Kashmiri gets defeated by his own knowledge base. Lord Chaitanya asks him those questions to which he has no answers. He accepts defeat and he says he goes back and prays to Goddess Saraswati. He says, all of my life I have prayed to you, and you have blessed me with so much of knowledge. But today I got defeated by a small kid. Can you please tell me what's the reason? Then Goddess Saraswati comes in his dream and says, oh, Keshav Kashmiri, I know your effort is not wanting. It is just that you cannot win against the Supreme Lord. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord. Then Keshav Kashmiri surrendered. So, this example is to say, don't really indulge in all this study of Vedas. It's not going to bring you to that conclusion. Na tapasa, no austerity, na dane, no charity. We have already seen this thing. Na chitjaya, na chitjaya, not by sacrifices. Sakya evam vido drishtum. You cannot see me in this form. Drishtwana siyata, as you have seen me before you. Message is very clear, very simple. We should not get confused. We should just follow the message in Gita. And if someone says, can you tell me where it is in Gita? You say that go to 11th chapter, go to 53, 54, 55. And that is the path that Krishna wants us to follow. Now he is also saying how you can do devotion to me. Yatva ananyaya shakya aham evam vido arjuna knatum drishtum cha tatvena aveshutum cha parantva. Krishna can be revealed only by pure devotional service. This is no formula here. No E is equal to MC squared. We don't have to derive. We don't have to mug up. We don't have to read 10 formulas to arrive at, oh, how do I understand Krishna? He just says 3 words: pure devotional service. Simple. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood. Yatva ananyaya. Can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly? Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Understanding Krishna through knowledge, intelligence is impossible. Who is saying this? Krishna is himself saying this. Sorry. Yatva ananyaya shakya. Now, what is ananyaya? See, we understand devotion is ananyaya. Ananyaya is undivided devotional service. There is only one truth. Truth cannot be many. That is, there is one Supreme Lord, and I surrender at that. How will I surrender? Through devotion. What is devotion? Loving. I must love my Krishna. That's the message. In 18.55 also he says, Yamam abhijanati yamanyaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato gnatva vihate tat anantram. He says, one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Lord, only by devotional service. So he's repeating the same message there. When one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of Lord. Aham eva vidu Arjuna. He says, I can be understood, Arjuna, Natum drashtum chatatvena. You can see me, whichever form you want to see. Natum drashtum. You can, Gnatum is to see me, drashtum to realize me. Tatvena in reality. Praveshtam, that is, you can enter into the truth of my understanding for attaining liberation. We talk about mukti, moksha, all that is possible only if you come through ananya bhakti. That's all. Oh Parantapa, says Arjuna, you are the destroyer of all foes, the expert archer. I am giving you this message. Last verse of this most important chapter. And whenever I read this, I can't, I tend to get emotional because the formula is so simple. The entire mankind makes life so complex, complicated, trying to wonder, trying to analyze, assess, challenge. Why do we have to do all these things? Krishna has said in 4 lines. He says, Mat karmakran mat paramo, mat kakta sanga varjita, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, yachama meti pandavaha. It's it. Simple. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Perform bhakti and attain Krishna. When you attain Krishna, you attain the Supreme Lord. There is none second to him. My dear Archana, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation. This is one big problem we have these days. We try to analyze everything. There are some things which are beyond our knowledge. He who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. This is the mantra, which is worth billions, trillions of dollars. It's available to free of cost. But how many of us will read it? How many of us understand it? And how many of us will implement it? What is the message? Karma krat. He says, work for me. What did Arjuna do? Work for Krishna. What did Abhimanyu do? Work for Krishna. Mat paramo. Make me the supreme goal of life. We have relationship, we have loving affection, all the emotions, they all lead to attachment. He says, but all the attachments are temporary. We lose our parents, we lose our near and dear ones, we are amidst misery. What do we do to live in this world successfully? Make Krishna your goal of life. Even when we are about to take our last breath, it is Krishna who will be with you. He has no age, he is eternal. He says, make me the supreme goal of life. Matta, become my devotee with exclusive loving devotion. Devotion is nothing but love. The love that we should remember is the mother's love to her child. The same child also reciprocates towards her mother and parents. We should do that. Of course, when I say this, there is a qualification. The child loves the parents without any condition when it is a small child. The moment he becomes an adult or she becomes an adult, then we get into the same contamination mode, and then it all becomes, what do I get in return? We should be away from that. It is Sangavarjita, free from attachment. That's what I was trying. Not get attached. And now, we have pets. And I tell many of my close friends, as it is, we have so much of bandhan. Why do we have to get into another extra attachment by going in for a pet? It could be a dog, it could be a parrot, whatever. Another living being, we are getting attached to that. More attachments we have, the less time we have to look at Krishna. That's why he says, be free from attachment. Next, he says, Nirvaira Sarvabhuteshu. The most important lesson that we can ever have in life from Krishna is be friendly to all living beings. He says, even if a person does injustice to you, who insults you, who brings your ruin, you must love him because in every living being there is Paramatma. Don't take things at face value. Don't judge. Your message from Krishna is only in this case I will love others. No, Krishna has not said that. He says, Nirvaira Sarvabhuteshu. Love him in all times, under all circumstances. Imagine if we follow this, there is no need for Russia-Ukraine war. There is no need for any of the disturbances that we see in the society. Formula is amongst us. How many of us will make attempt to use it? Yasamamiti. Then only you can reach me, O Arjuna. Most powerful words of Gita. All of us should try to remember this, by heart this, keep saying this so that we all force ourselves on the path of the. With this, we have come to the end of this chapter. The acronym of this chapter is Rupa. Quick recap, request from Arjuna. He wants to see the universal form. Krishna shows him the universal form. In the next lesson, verses 5 to 8, Krishna describes his universal form. Third lesson is prayers of Arjuna. We did it in the last class. Various descriptions of the inconceivable Vishwa Rupa Darshan. It is something which is beyond imagination. And today we covered armed form, which is from verses 32 to 55, where we understood what is the essence of Gita. It is mat karmakran, mat paramo, mat bhakta sangavarjita, nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu, yasamameti pandavaha. Make me your supreme goal of life. That is the message. Thank you very much. Now, the floor is open. If you have any questions, any words, please feel free.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If you can go to the slide that has verse number 45.
Yes.
But maybe the one before this then.
Sorry?
Maybe the one before this then.
Before this is it? Okay, 44 then.
No, there was a slide where you had showed a surgeon or a doctor with gloved hands and a cutting instrument. I was wondering why you have used that visual.
I don't remember. For me, my instrument?
I don't know why then I wrote down 45. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
It's okay, sir. It's okay. In when you were explaining verse 45, you said everyone praised Arjuna for having witnessed Bhagavan's Vishwarupa.
Yeah.
So does everyone know that? Because apparently time was stopped when Krishna had stopped time in order to explain and motivate Arjuna to fight. So at the end of it, does everyone know that Bhagavan has given his Bhagavan has advised Arjuna?
See, there are like for example, Sanjaya, he was able to see, and all the devatas in the various universes, they were able to see.
But I'm saying sorry, I understood that. I'm just saying the people around him, like his brothers, do his brothers know, and do the Kauravas know that this is going on or this has happened?
Good question.
So somewhere you mentioned that he was glorified. You did mention that everyone was the universe, basically all the demigods and everybody else, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, everybody was witness to this, to Bhagavan's Vishwarupa. But does that hold true for the people on the battlefield?
They were only able to see Krishna in his as a charioteer.
So that is what I would imagine, because there was a particular reason why Krishna chose Arjuna for his Upadesha and not even Dharmaraya.
Yes.
who sort of was the personification or the because he was the son of Dharmaraja, of Yamadharmaraja. So, I mean, one would debate why he was not chosen. So, uh, so yeah, I mean, I guess I'm answering my own question that
Yes.
nobody else in
The,
the battlefield would have known about Bhagwan's uh,
they would not have fought the war. They
Radheshyam.
would all run away.
Yes,
We can imagine if Drona or Bhishma, it's not that they are not aware, it's just that they are not seeing. And if they had seen that I'm going to be killed, then this war would not have happened.
yes, yes,
And another point you make, which is most important, is Krishna stopped time.
yes.
Kalos me. So for 45 minutes or so, when he was doing the Gita Upadesha, the world stopped. So many of us don't understand the implication, the profound uh, things that Arjuna was witness to. And that is the more important thing that we should understand. Space, he pervaded the space, and time, he stopped. And there are
It
many
was only in
atheists,
his hands and nobody else's because he is
because,
time himself. So,
yes, and when an atheist tries to challenge, you say, oh, well, show me where is the Lord. He says, you see me as Kalarupa. Now you challenge me.
yes,
I
yes,
will tell you how you're going to die, when you're going to die. Stop
yes,
if it is possible.
yes, true.
That is the
Uh,
that is the Lord.
Also, Prabhuji, one second, I just wrote down that. Uh, how are verse number 48 and 53 different? Because Bhagavan is saying, well, approximately the same thing. In number 48, he says, "Now wait, when you cannot perform charity or yajna or tapas or read the Vedas to get to me or get to know me." And then also in 53, he's saying
Yes,
approximately the same thing. So is he just
yes.
repeating himself like he has in earlier chapters also? Or is there a specific purpose for the uh,
As the
advice
Acharyas
given a
explain,
second time?
they say, see, whenever I have to make a point and I have to reinforce that,
Hmm.
Krishna repeats it.
Yeah. Yes, he has
And
done so in earlier chapters
earlier verses also. And the takeaway from this is that now I'm a student of marketing. And of course, marketing is a big science in this world today. And marketing also follows this. Repetition, reinforcement is the fundamental behind which any advertising works. If I show you once, I don't think you will remember it. But if I keep on repeating it, it starts getting into your consciousness.
Okay, so he's just being I like as a teacher I also would follow the same sort of
Yeah. Now, for example,
principle to
uh,
repeat my lesson, recap it in the next lecture, and so on. So he's just being a guru. He's here. He's playing the role of a guru as as he has throughout.
Amaha.
But
Yeah,
yeah, so he's just repeating himself. There is no other uh,
nothing.
meaning to be taken out of
No, no.
it. Thank you.
Because many of us, after reading this so many times, we still take that oft trodden path. That is, oh, can I get some solution in Vedas? And I'm not really saying about Veda Adhyayana. I'm only talking about, what we do. Let's say tomorrow we get into a lot of miserable situation. First thing we'll do is we'll go and do Navagraha Shanti, Navagraha Homa, or we'll do Satyanarayana Puja, or we will do. Yesterday, I was talking to a Mataji, and she says, I am doing, I think Sneha knows the name, I don't remember the name. For 14 days, she's fasting, only drinking milk, water. So, why she wants to please the Lord? So, Krishna has said openly, don't do all this Ukra tapasa. It's not required. You will not even you can't come 1 inch nearer to me just because you have done Ugra tapasya. No. And Ukra tapasya is not meant for all of us. In our Kali Yuga, we are here to take the simple path, easy path, which all of us can follow. I don't have to be born as a rich man, poor man, white man, black man. Any birth as a living being, Gita is open. There's nothing to choose. When there is such a simple path, why follow all these austerities? What for? This is the message.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question? Suresh, Ramesh,
No.
Srini?
No, nothing, Shyam. Thank you. I mean, it'll take time to assimilate,
Get you- And think for a second, Srini, that, should I ask this? Should I not ask it? Any question is welcome. Simple, please don't worry.
Yeah.
Top of the mind.
Yeah. No. Even for asking question, no, we need to assimilate, think, and then only you can ask. Otherwise, you can only listen at this point. So.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Then if there are no questions, I will not hold you back. Do spend your time with your family, Sunday evening. Have a wonderful evening.
Yes. Thanks.
Thanks, Shyam. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Prabhuji.
Bye. Bye-bye.